In the heart of California's Golden Hills, where the morning mist drifts lazily over endless rows of vineyards, there lies a valley both timeless and alive. A place where the earth whispers secrets of ancient peoples, where the sun awakens the grapes that will one day become world-renowned wines, and where every hill and hollow holds a story waiting to be discovered. This is Napa Valley, a land of quiet magic, of settlers who carved dreams from the soil, and of legends that linger like the scent of oak barrels in an old cellar. Today, we step beyond the postcard-perfect landscapes and uncork the mysteries, the history, and the soul of a valley that has captured hearts for centuries. Welcome to a journey not just through wine country, but through the spirit of Napa itself. Long before the first settlers arrived with their plows and presses, long before the vineyards stretched like emerald rivers across the valley, the land was home to the Wappo people. They moved with the rhythm of the seasons, following the rivers and the hills, guided by the cycles of nature and the whispers of the wind through the oaks. The Wappo lived in harmony with this fertile valley, gathering wild grapes, acorns, and native plants that nourished both body and spirit. They knew the land not just as soil and stone, but as a living, breathing presence. Every creek, every ridge, every bend in the river held meaning, a story, a lesson, a memory. They had rituals to honor the spirits of the land, ceremonies that celebrated the first fruits of the harvest, and sacred places where the veil between the earthly and the spiritual seemed thin. Some say the hills themselves still hum with the echoes of these ancient songs, and that if you listen closely, the rustling of the vineyard leaves carries faint whispers of a people who understood the land in ways the modern world can only dream of. In Napa Valley, the roots run deeper than the vines we see today. They sink into the soil of history, nourished by the footsteps and wisdom of those who first called this land home, a living memory that connects past and present, nature and spirit, in ways both mystical and enduring. As the 19th century dawned, whispers of gold and opportunity drew new faces to the valley's rolling hills. The Wappo watched silently as pioneers arrived, carrying dreams as heavy as their packs, their hands ready to tame the land and turn it into something entirely new. Among them were Italian, German, and Swiss families, who saw not just soil, but possibility, a place where the sun kissed the hills just right, where the winter rains nourished the earth, and where vines could flourish under the endless Californian sky. They planted the first rows of grapes, their hands digging into the earth with reverence, almost as if they could sense the valley's ancient heartbeat beneath their fingers. These early settlers were dreamers and survivors, building homes from timber and stone, carving a life from the wilderness while carrying the old-world knowledge of winemaking and cultivation. They told stories of hardship and triumph around flickering fires, their laughter and tears blending with the sigh of the wind through the oaks. In those early days, the valley was a place of quiet magic and untamed beauty. The settlers may have come seeking fortune, but in return, they inherited something far more enduring, a land that whispers history, a valley that cradles both the old spirits and the new, and a timeless rhythm that continues to guide the hands of every winemaker who walks its hills today. Then came the era when silence fell over the valley's vineyards, a time when the very fruits of the land were forbidden, and the hum of winemaking was replaced by whispers and shadows. Prohibition swept through Napa Valley like a ghostly wind, and yet, beneath its strict hand, the spirit of the land refused to be silenced. Families who had tended the grapes for generations turned their cellars into secret sanctuaries, hidden from prying eyes. Wine was no longer just a drink. It became a symbol of resilience, a quiet rebellion against a world that sought to take away the valley's lifeblood. Tunnels carved beneath stone walls and hidden rooms behind thick oak doors sheltered barrels of deep ruby liquid, aging slowly, patiently, like secrets waiting to be revealed. Stories persist of clandestine gatherings, of moonlit journeys through fog-draped vineyards, where laughter and song carried softly through the night, masking the scent of fermenting wine. Some say the spirits of those early winemakers still linger, their presence felt in the shadows of abandoned cellars, their whispers echoing in the cool, dark corners where the valley's history sleeps. Even in silence, the valley spoke, of endurance, of cunning, of a people and a land entwined in a pact as old as the hills themselves. Prohibition may have sought to still the flow of wine, but it could never still the magic, the mystery, or the enduring heartbeat of Napa Valley. Today, the valley awakens in a symphony of color and life, where vineyards stretch like rivers of green beneath the endless California sky. The legacy of those early settlers and the secrets of Prohibition live on in every barrel, every cluster of grapes, every drop of wine that pours into a glass. Napa Valley is no longer just a land of survival, it is a sanctuary of craft and artistry. Winemakers move with reverence, tending to vines as if listening to their whispered stories. Each grape carries the memory of the earth, the sun, and the hands that nurtured it, transforming into wines that sing with both history and heart. In this valley, wine is more than a drink. It is a ritual, a bridge between past and present. Visitors feel it in the air, in the gentle rustle of leaves, in the quiet gravity of the tasting rooms where knowledge, passion, and tradition converge. Festivals of harvest, the blending of vintages, and the ceremonial first crush of the grapes are celebrations of life itself, honoring a heritage steeped in both toil and magic. Here, amidst the rolling hills and sunlit vines, Napa Valley has become a living storybook, one that invites all who enter to listen closely, to taste deeply, and to become part of a timeless dance between nature, history, and human artistry. Beyond the vineyards, Napa Valley holds secrets whispered by the wind through ancient oaks and the mist that rises from quiet rivers in the early morning. The hills roll like waves frozen in time, each ridge and hollow carrying stories that have passed from one generation to the next, half remembered, half dreamed. Travelers speak of moments when the valley seems to pause, when the sunlight drapes the hills in gold and shadows stretch like gentle fingers across the land. In these hours, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and the ordinary traveler feels the pulse of something older, a presence that watches over the valley, guiding, guarding, and celebrating its enduring beauty. Legends linger in the fog, of hidden spirits in the old wineries, of ghostly figures among the vines, and of the valley itself, as if alive, breathing in the rhythm of the seasons. Some say if you stand quietly on a hilltop at sunset, you can feel the whispers of history swirling around you, tasting in the air the memories of every hand that has ever pressed, planted, or walked upon this land. Here, the mystic and the scenic merge, creating a tapestry of wonder. Napa Valley is not just seen, it is felt, experienced like a secret song sung by the hills themselves, a melody that invites you to pause, to wander, and to become part of its timeless story. Napa Valley's magic is not only in its vineyards and hills, it flows through the hands of those who live and create here. In bustling markets, rustic kitchens, and sun-dappled farm-to-table restaurants, the land's bounty is transformed into art. Each dish carries the essence of the valley, the richness of the soil, the warmth of the sun, and the whisper of history in every ingredient. Local chefs and artisans are more than creators, they are keepers of tradition, weaving stories into every meal, every crafted wine pairing, every carefully prepared plate. Here, the community gathers not just to eat or drink, but to celebrate life, connection, and the rhythm of the seasons. Festivals of harvest, weekly markets, and intimate gatherings bring neighbors and travelers alike into the fold of a valley that is as social and spirited as it is serene. Art, music, and culture pulse quietly alongside the vineyards. Galleries showcase the visions of those who draw inspiration from the land, while musicians play melodies that echo the valley's rolling hills and river bends. In Napa, food and culture are inseparable from nature, history, and the mystical undercurrent that flows through every corner of this extraordinary place. To experience the valley fully is to feel its heartbeat in every flavor, every note, and every shared moment of joy. Beyond the well-trodden paths of famous vineyards, Napa Valley hides whispers of secrets waiting to be discovered. Narrow trails wind through quiet hills, revealing hidden groves where the sun dapples the earth like liquid gold, and small, family-run wineries cradle traditions untouched by time. These are the places where the valley's true soul reveals itself, in the secluded gardens that bloom with native flowers, in forgotten stone cottages where the ghosts of early settlers linger in the breeze, and in the streams that carve their way through the hills like veins of silver. Each hidden corner tells a story, a quiet tale of patience, devotion, and reverence for the land. Here, every visitor becomes an explorer, drawn by curiosity and rewarded with moments of stillness and wonder. A forgotten tasting room, a vineyard tucked behind a rising hill, a sunlit glade. Each discovery feels like stumbling into a secret that has been waiting for centuries, a gentle reminder that the magic of Napa Valley lies not just in what is seen, but in what is quietly felt. To wander off the beaten path is to touch the heart of the valley itself, to experience its rhythms, its mysteries, and its enduring whisper that calls to those willing to listen. As the sun dips behind the rolling hills and bathes the valley in a golden glow, Napa reveals its true essence, not just as a place, but as a feeling. It is a land where history hums beneath the soil, where every vine and river carries a story, and where the past and present meet in quiet harmony. To stand here, amid the endless vineyards and gentle hills, is to feel the heartbeat of the valley itself, ancient, enduring, and alive. The whispers of the Wappo people, the dreams of early settlers, the secret resilience of those who defied prohibition, they all linger in the air, mingling with the scent of grapes and the soft hum of nature. Napa Valley is more than a destination. It is a journey, a mystical, timeless passage through history, culture, and the enduring spirit of the land. And as you leave its hills behind, a piece of its magic remains, a quiet echo that follows you long after the vineyards have faded from view. If the whispers of Napa Valley have stirred your soul, if its hills, vineyards, and hidden stories have drawn you in, then the journey doesn't have to end here. Wander, explore, and let the valley reveal its secrets to you. Join us on more journeys to places where history, culture, and mystery intertwine. Subscribe, and step into the stories that await beyond the ordinary. Napa is just the beginning, and the world is full of hidden magic waiting to be discovered.